My name is Makayla Graham. I am a rising senior at Georgia Southwestern State University. And so for me, my call to action, social action has just been something that's like been instilled in me since I was younger. But for my peers, especially with summer 2020 and a lot of the racial plight and just issues that were going on in our country, this was the first time that we were able to see civil unrest and we were able to take an active stance. So for me, I just turned 21. So this election was the first time that I was able to actually not only say, hey, I see what's going on, but take pride in being in the political process. So a lot of my peers were sharing these same experiences for the first time that we were able to actually take an active role. So for me, as a Gen Z leader and the social media coordinator, it was all about figuring out ways to take social media activism to the next level. A lot of people were sharing information about the election, but not really knowing how necessarily to get involved on a practical level. So it was for me just all about educating and sharing all the good news that was going on in Southwest Georgia to a larger pattern. So for me, I'm not from here. So I was not able to completely understand all the struggles that were faced. But when I was immersed in the culture, and thank you to Ms. McSpadden and Ms. Petty John Johnson for taking me under their wing and, involving me in this process, I was able to see just how, this franchise this area was, and just being able to be a part of that as a Gen Z leader was completely amazing. And sharing the stories on social media and figuring out creative hashtags, whether it was t-shirts, just getting our voice and our platform out there on a larger scale was completely amazing to me. So I think for a lot of us, oftentimes we felt like a lot of decisions were being made on our behalf for this country. So the values that we were reflecting that we wanted to see in our society, we didn't feel like we were able to be comfortable enough to express views because we weren't allowed to vote. Oftentimes when you think about the political process, we leave out the next generation who are going to benefit from the laws and the stuff that are being created. So I think that there was an urge, there was a hunger to actually have our voices heard. Not only did we want to march in the streets, we wanted to be able to reflect change in society. And so it was overwhelming amount of participation and joy just because for the first time we were allowed to vote. It's like for me, it felt like when you were finally allowed to drive, you get your license for the first time, your hands on, you're literally in the wheel on the process. So, a lot of people were encouraging college students to do absentee voting, but we weren't minding to stand in the lines to just be able to cast that ballot for the first time. So I think that excitement in our generation was able to fuel a large turnout for us just because of the simple fact that this is the first time that a lot of us were being allowed to vote. And I think that gave a lot of steam and fuel for us to change the culture. I know for sure, for fact, at least for my demographic, especially, just the overall frustration and just kind of feeling like we were helpless in a way. But, reflecting on how our elders taught us, if you really want change, you need to, vote. And so that mindset that, oh, my voice doesn't matter, my vote doesn't matter, I think that kind of shifted away because we realized we were doing everything. And so there needed to be a certain level of change. So the best way to get change is to put people in those offices that reflect that. Now, and I think especially, with the protest, it definitely gave some type of esteem for us to want change, not only in our communities, but nationally, and to hear our voices, not only in our communities, but on a larger scale.